Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Indieheads podcast. I'm your host, Matty, a.k.a. ReconAG, at Monrovian Prince on Twitter. On this week's podcast, we have...
Hello, I am Jake, Jamaican Hopscotch on Reddit, at jwald55 on twitter.com.
Hey, I'm AJ, and if I sound different, it's because I'm sick. And you know what I'm sick of is these takes, baby. I'm sick of all these takes going around about the new Arcade Fire album, which we'll talk about later.
Oh, God.
And it's your boy Will for Thrill.
You're not supposed to spoil it, AJ. You're not supposed to spoil the obvious thing. You're not supposed to spoil the obvious thing we're going to be talking about later.
No, we need to suspend our listeners.
I caught a whiff of the take and just had a little cough there.
But
all right, it's your boy Will for Thrill on Twitter, and now I'm CoolModi23 on Reddit.
Oh, you made an official account?
Yeah. And to clarify, it's not Cool Mod 23. It's Cool Modi.
Cool.
Like the rapper from the 80s.
Jesus. Is it spelled just M-O-D-E?
It's C-O. The story behind it is that like they referenced Cool Modi on The Simpsons one time. When I saw it as a kid, and I had no idea who Cool Modi was. But I'm like, that's the coolest name I've heard in my entire life. So like I made a YouTube account called Cool Modi, COOLMOD. So now that's my backup brand behind Will for Thrill.
But yes,
that's good stuff.
we are doing 2 podcasts in a week, which is an extreme rarity for the Indieheads podcast.
Because we're revitalized.
We are Pitchfork. Last year, Pitchfork brought us all down pretty much. Like we didn't do a podcast for 6 weeks, but for whatever reason, this year we are revitalized. We got content flowing constantly. Because, unlike last year, our clout is at an all-time high, all right? Like, 2016, July 2016, low clout. July 2017, highest clout ever.
We need to do some videos like AV Club did next. If we go next year, I don't want to be too presumptive. But if we go next year, I'd like to do some videos like AV Club did.
I just gotta afford.
I like to meet some cuties at the Pitchfork Fest. If you feel me.
Cuties. Actually, I didn't fall in love there, so...
Get some I fell in love with Jeff Rosenstock.
I high-key fell in love, so I got you.
This is the year that I said... Well, I think, I fell in love with a girl at the Danny Brown pit. But that's it. Anyways, News. First bit of news, because, again, we did a podcast earlier this week.
This is a big one.
There isn't a whole lot, but what we lack in news, like the amount, we make up for in just the newsiness of the news.
The gravity of it.
Exactly. Thank you, Will. But our first piece of news is that Lil B, he is finally dropping the Blackkin mixtape. It is coming out on August 17th. It's up for pre-order on iTunes, and you can listen to 7 tracks right now of the 26-track mixtape. Is that correct? 26 tracks?
That's what I believe.
I believe so, yeah.
That's a ballpark figure.
So... Lil B finally back, first mixtape probably in like a year and a half, which is the
last one was like on New Year's Eve of 2014, 2015.
Really?
Yeah,
oh geez, it's been longer than that.
Or maybe what was it, 15, 16? I don't remember.
That was 14 into 15, but I think he came out with something since then. That was 05 Fuck 'em, and I'm pretty sure he's dropped something since 05 Fuck 'em.
Was it Hoop Life? Maybe was Hoop Life the last thing? He dropped?
I think Hoop Life may have been the last thing that he dropped.
But yeah, Lil B is finally back.
Either way, it's been a minute.
But it has
been a minute.
Basically, Lil B, the bass god, he is finally back. Which Lil B, again, I think we all here at the Indieheads podcast respect Lil B and find him to be one of the most influential rappers, if not the most influential rapper of the 2010s or of the online era. As Soulja
Kendrick Lamar, take a hike.
Exactly. I mean,
Jake Paul, take a hike.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, thank you, AJ, for mentioning. Okay, thank you, AJ, for mentioning Jake Paul, because we can put him in the tags again and get some extra views. So
what are those?
Get a fucking copyright strike, or I would love. Hey, Jake, if you're listening, I would love if he sees that we tagged him in this video and watches it and does one of his reaction vlogs to it, where he just bit by bit tears apart everything we say.
What is this?
Whoa! What do they mean by that.
We don't want Mark Kozlik to write a song about us anymore. Now we just want to be in a Jake Paul video.
Those are the two
New
like,
heights.
Those are the two clout goals.
It's 2017. Those are like the heights your club can reach. You can be name dropped in a Mark Kozlik song, or you can be featured on the Jake Paul vlog channel.
I'm gonna take Mark Kozlik any day of the week. That's the clout that I want.
We are gonna get on the next. I don't want to play our cards too early, but we're getting on the next.
We gotta
Mark
wait.
Kozlik
Is
album.
someone
next album?
Is someone actually is someone actually going to like put our podcast?
I'll do it.
Do it. Okay,
I'll fucking do it.
AJ, like virtual handshake. You better do it like this week. Like get a thumb drive, put the podcast on there, leave a little note, and if it actually happens,
send it
if
to
it happens,
Verde.
He's definitely in the writing process for like 2 albums from now already.
That's true.
The thing is, if you Google Caldo Verde, it's a popular soup in Portuguese cuisine. But I'll find Mark's mailing address. I'll get our podcast to him. I'll write him a letter, and hopefully it gets either just read out loud or did he announce another new fucking album? Also,
He did.
Jesus.
He announced another collab. Let me find the link. We didn't talk about that, but yeah, he announced another collab album with like Ben Boy and Jim White coming out on October 6th.
God dang.
When will this man
Stop booling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, King Giz, take a hike. Mark Kozlik is here to stay. But anyways, let's get into some actual indie news. Well, Lil B's indie, so I mean, hey, he's independent, rawest rapper alive.
Yeah. We're looks at Chance the Rapper.
So coming up next on the news, that one that I'm very excited about, Björk. She announced that a new album is coming soon. She put up a pre-order on her website for this album. There's no cover, no track list, no real info other than it is coming soon. And I am very excited for this.
Didn't Björk say that like this album was supposed to be kind of the emotional antithesis to Volnikira or something along those lines, like a while ago?
Yeah, she said in an interview that this is a much like happier album, which I will take because even though I just think I love Volnikira, it was like number 2 on my album of the year list back in 2015. I love that album to death. But I'm excited to see her, change things up a little bit. It's going to be interesting to hear like happy Arca production because it still seems like Arca is going to be co-producer on this album again because they're still working together like they're 2 peas in a pod still, pretty much. So
it's called like Warmthness, right?
No, there's no name for it yet. I think there was a fake leak that came out like back like last fall, but that got like shot down pretty quickly. But
didn't she write like Warmthness on the bottom of the thing, the bottom of the note or whatever? Did. Like, can't wait for you to hear the. I think like that.
That might be a descriptor. It could be the name. That'd be cool.
I could see that being a Björk album name.
Look, all I'm saying is that when was the last time a bad album ended in Ness was released?
Shit. I'm actually trying to think.
Goodness, harmlessness. I'm almost certain that there's one, but y'all can't tell me nothing.
Boy, but yeah.
There's been at least 2 good albums. So.
Well, hey, there we go. The formula works. But yes, there's not much to say. Excited for whatever she does next because again, one of my favorite artists of all time. Just she's the best. She's the greatest. Fuck what you heard. That's all you gotta know. But our last
have you in my wilderness?
Oh,
motherfucker!
Boy, okay, that's 3. Yeah, 3 for 3. We're. I mean that's a strikeout, baby. So I think we're in the clear here. So
we struck out with good.
Exactly. But AJ, our final piece of news is
baby.
AJ, our man of the street, AJ, recently went to Panorama Fest in New York City.
Oh, well, also, quick like diatribe that we won't get too deep into, but I also I finagled my way into the secret hip and trendy Arcade Fire release show that was streamed on Apple Music.
You never sent us a picture of your fit.
My fit was fine. I wore like this. I wore a black denim jacket and a nice flower patterned shirt.
Was it hip and trendy? It
was most certainly hip and trendy. The winners of the night were certainly these 2 guys who had white shirts that just with Sharpie written that said hip, and the other guy said trendy. They were clearly they knew where their clout levels were at.
But AJ, Panorama, how was it?
Yo, Panorama was good as hell. I heard Frank Ocean was pretty good. did not get to see him, unfortunately. But I saw Tame Impala for the very first time. They were fantastic. They fucked up. Kevin Parker's kind of a diva, and like they were playing Less I Know the Better, like just a little bit up tempo, and he like stopped it after the first chorus and was like, "We're gonna do that again." And I was like, "All right." And then they played Love Paranoia for the first time live, I think, ever, and that's my least favorite song on Current. So I was like, he was like, "We're gonna play something like that we've never done before," and I was like, "Yo, real shit." And then he was like, "This one's called Love Paranoia," and I was like, "I'm gonna go take a piss."
Yeah.
I sleep.
I formulated a very small take while I was watching Tame Impala, and it's an unfounded take, but I kind of want to drop it before you guys and see how you feel. This is like spurred by also a little bit of a discussion Matty and I were having on Twitter.com earlier. I think that Tame Impala is sort of this wave of indies Radiohead equivalent. Just watching them perform live, I got just like sort of serious vibes of the sort of like showmanship and how they carry their music and how they carry
Radiohead
themselves.
really aren't that big a show. I mean, like they play good concerts, but like they're not really showmen. Like they're not have much swagger. They just have really good songs.
But that's exactly what sort of Tame Impala was. I was like, why is this band like kind of headlining Saturday at Panorama? Like this is a huge fucking stage. They said it was the biggest stage I'd ever played at before, and I sort of got the impression of just like, yeah, they're making this like music that's sort of inherently indie, but like has a sort of crossover appeal. Like I said, unfounded take, but I was like, I sort of see the roots of this.
I'll allow for it.
Okay, cool. I got to see Pinegrove again, which was wonderful. I also got to meet Pinegrove. Ooh. They signed my CD copy of Everything So Far, which was very nice. I introduced myself to Evan. I was like, "Hey, big fan. I'm AJ." And he goes, "I'm Evan." And I said, "Obviously," which was kind of an embarrassing moment, but whatever. And I inquired about the cardinal that Matty threw at him during the Pitchfork set, and he was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe like that was wonderful." And the cardinal is happy in the house that they're recording their new album at right now, and he's got a new friend, the Sloth, that they bring on stage with them, whose name I believe is Ike.
No, it's Lincoln. Wait, is it
Lincoln? That's right.
Yeah, Lincoln's the Sloth. I know my Pinegrove canon. Okay, I know my Pinegrove canon.
No, the name of the bassist is Aiden. Anyway, okay. Pinegrove are so fucking good, you guys.
I have just the last month started really into them.
The Pinegrove respecters have logged on.
Every year at the Blue Stage, Jake is just going to like discover his new favorite.
Yeah, it was the Hotelier, and then it was Pinegrove.
Discover.
Yeah, discover. He's like, "Yo, real shit, this is good."
Just 2 years after everyone else.
AJ, can we talk about the Pinegrove take that I threw out there? Because I feel like
we can dissect this.
Because if you can have your Tame Impala take, I can bring my take. So on Reddit and Twitter today, I stated that last year, of course, was the year that we were trying to find the next funeral. So, of course, Jeremiah threw out the Teens in Denial, which, ended up not being true. Of course, Teens in Denial. Ended up not being... Okay, I'll let you go real quick.
We need to talk about how we already finished this conversation last year, right? Revealing that Psychopomp was actually the next funeral the entire time. So this take is stale. This is a stale take.
Okay, AJ. That's a subjective take. Okay, that's looking at it subjectively. And Will, you can come in because you said the same thing about Harmlessness. Is that was like your personal funeral?
Well, I'm not like it's definitely not like a critical acclaim, but like in terms of like actual catharsis, it takes me to a similar place as funeral, for sure.
But I'm looking at it more objectively in that, like, okay, because, I mean, here's the thing. We discussed this, that Pinegrove are going to be fucking huge, like, in 5 years' time. Not even 5 years' time. Like, they're already, like, huge now, but it's just going to increase. Like,
I don't think they're going to be, like, Tame Impala huge, though.
If you're a betting man, put all of your cash right now on LP2 Best New Music. That's going to be a high score, brother.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be. But yeah,
my high score mean like 8.7.
But my take, let me finish the take. My take was that that Psychopomp, Teens in Denial, they were not the next funeral. It was actually Cardinal all along. In terms of like, sort of like that feeling that funeral brings to people, and the critical response and how it's just gone over time. I feel like
that's just not true though, because funeral was beloved from the outset.
I mean, well, Cardinal was too, but again, it rose increasingly over time.
That's just not true.
Well, my revisionist history says it is true. So, all right. My clout levels are higher than yours, so I'm obviously
I guess
the
so.
truth here. But I mean, here's the thing: at the end of the day, if my take you disagree with it, which again you can very easily disagree, because again I think it's again like I said it's a take I gotta develop a bit more, but the general thing is that Pinegrove are gonna be fucking huge, but this next album is gonna be fucking massive. And I don't think we quite I think we know they're going to be big, but we just don't quite realize they're going to be really, really big. The magic I felt seeing them at Pitchfork, that's that was something else. So, yeah, that's about it.
My hot Pitchfork take was that the most magical set of the day on Sunday was Joey Perk, not Pinegrove.
He had a good set. I like the set. I gotta check out his tape. But I think that about doesn't or. Did you want to continue, Will?
No, nothing. I was saying that Joey Perk was good, and you should check him out.
Is there any other Panorama stuff you want to talk about, AJ, or are you all good on that?
9 Inch Nails were good as hell. Tribe Called Quest was good as hell, even though it was the exact same set from Pitchfork, except they were just yo, Fife's parents are here, and I was like, all right, fuck me up.
How old is his parents, then?
They gotta be pretty old. He was 49, right?
Yeah.
Probably 60s, I would think. Late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah. But it was literally exactly the same set from Pitchfork.
And they didn't play Scenario?
No, they did not play Scenario.
The thing is that, because I remember after Pitchfork, they showed it a set list, and apparently they skipped a lot of songs. They didn't play, they basically, the set list had every song in the repertoire. They rehearsed, I guess.
Interesting.
Did they do We the People 3 times?
Yeah, they did the same thing again.
Good.
All right. So
I'm trying to think.
As a festival, how did it compare to Pitchfork? Overall,
there was a lot more normies there,
which is not shocking. Not shocking.
Not shocking whatsoever. But it was very much that's why I like Pitchfork, because it's music first, and that's it pretty much. Panorama was fun. It was good. I saw Angel Olsen, Mitski again. Cloud Nothings projected a YouTube video called Highway to Hell 1992 full movie on the back of their stage, which was just wild as hell. I was like, all right, but they were fantastic. I think I had seen every act except for Tame Impala and 9 Inch Nails before multiple times. So I mean, it was fun. It was good. I'm glad I went.
All right. Let's get into a segment that we have not done in a little bit, but I think there's enough stuff that's come out that I kind of let's get back into talking about it. So let's do a quick little single alert. Talk about some of the singles that have released over the last week or so. Sometimes 2 or maybe a little longer, because there's some stuff I want to talk about that's come out this month or the last month that's good as hell, and we should mention it. So first and foremost, we got a new single from The Killers with a new album announcement. Of course, Wonderful, Wonderful, which was already announced. Official date now, September 22nd, and this new single, Run for Cover, follows The Man. And if I recall correctly, I think most everyone here except for me was pretty mixed on The Man.
I didn't really care for The Man all that much. I thought it was very.
It's fun, but not good, but still fun.
I really liked it.
The thing is that not to just jump into the pit here, but this song makes me realize how mid The Man actually was, because this song right here is good as hell, brother.
It's the perfect middle ground between Samstown and Day and Age, I think.
It seriously is. Yeah, it's incredible how this song should not be this good, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, I'm sus now, because I don't think the album can live up to this.
I'm this can't continue. The Killers cannot be this good in 2017. What the fuck is going on?
I denounce this.
I mean, what if they
There's one thing I don't like about this song is that they do the same fake out anthem chorus lead in near the back half of the song that they did in The Man, where it gets super quiet and then it all just everything comes in at once, and it's don't do that. That's not good. Stop that.
Yeah.
I agree. That's the Worst part, but yeah, I do really like this. It's definitely like I like The Man. The Man is a very good pop song. This is kind of back to the Killers that we know a little bit, kind of getting out of whatever funk they were on the last album, going like, hey, we're back, guys. Like, don't worry. But I think this album could be good. Probably not like on the level of like Sam's Town or Hot Fuss, but like for basically for 2017 Killers, like, hey, this is it seems like it could be pretty good.
My take, I'm going to kind of spoil a take later, but this is going to be like kind of like Everything Now musically and stylistically, but actually good.
We'll get to the takes later. Hold off, AJ. Okay, I'm holding you back.
Hold on, buddy.
Hey,
I'm
AJ,
fine.
Also, the Killers, they did a performance on Jimmy Kimmel the other night, and they did a live stream of like the rest of their set, like besides the televised part. And it made me realize I need to go to a Killers concert.
Oh yeah, I'll kill a man. I'll kill a man to see the Killers.
Shit.
They were awesome.
I think they're coming to Chicago pretty soon. Like
they are
November, but the tickets are
I
probably.
think in January and February is when they're touring.
It's just tickets are expensive. So if I got the funds, I could go. I'll try, but it'll
they're a
probably be
band
sold
that
out.
I'm willing to throw a pretty penny for them, maybe, because
Yeah,
watching that live set was pretty awesome.
True. All right. Another new single. The World is a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die are back. They have a new single, Dylan and Her Son. Their new album, Foreign Thought, comes out on September 29th, I think. Am I getting that correct?
So I think that's like almost the exact same date as Harmlessness, or very close to it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And also, important news, they are now signed to Epitaph for this record. So, the boys are going mainstream. So, I'll let you guys go first, because I know you guys are the TWAP heads here, so...
The what?
The
TWIABP.
TWIABP, baby.
Okay, just fucking talking about the fucking song.
Even though it's not phonetically correct.
TWIABP.
I think the song is quite good. I would have preferred one of their like longer banger style tracks because
I think this is more banger, but like one of the more emo ballads, I think.
Well, like they do those long songs really well. The lead singles for Harmlessness were January 24th, or what is it, January 10th?
Yeah.
And that song, Jesus.
You can live here forever, or you can't live here forever.
Yeah, You Can't Live Here Forever, which are like...
No, I Can Be Afraid of Anything.
I Can Be Afraid of Anything, yes, correct. Which are like 6 and 7 minutes, and so those two were like really good encompassers of the album, what it was going to sound like, but also sort of hearing them before like sort of spoiled the peaks of the album, I guess. So I hope this is a good like teaser of the sound, and I the album's close enough where I'd be happy not hearing anything else, but like I love the kick it at the start. That's a meme for all the true
Beastie
heads,
Boys,
for all the Beastie Boy
reference.
heads. And the lyrics are fun. I think like they're very still the world is a beautiful place lyrics, because they said that this album is going to be political and edgy and urgent.
I don't really want that from this band, but
yeah. Well, like there's
still listen.
Okay, here's the thing though. For however serious as they're going to get, there's a song on here called Infinite Steve. That's the last song on the album. It's called Infinite Steve. So I think we're going to be okay as far as them taking...
Right. But I mean, for example, like January 10th, 2014, that song, like the message of that song, like when taken out of context, like I thought it's not necessarily a message I agree with, I don't think, or like at least not like in a literal sense.
Well, yeah, like it's
but
like
I can still I don't think that
the lyrics for that are basically.
People, but
yeah,
I still think it's a fun, good song.
It's like murder is good, and I'm like, well,
it's like
they're indoctrinating and extremizing the emo kids, and you know what? I'm here for it. I'm down. I'm game for this.
They're the heroes. They're the heroes this genre needs. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited for the album. It kind of reminds me of the Word Elisa or like Wendover. If I had to compare Harmlessness tracks,
to me, it still has the same, like sort of songwriting cohesion that the tracks on Death to New Year's and Long Live Happy Birthday both had, and I think those two splits are like where The World is a Beautiful Place at their peak. Like I think those 4 songs are the best 4 songs they've ever written.
They're good.
And so like I'm really like those two got me like really really excited for what.
Oh,
the
and
band
another
was gonna
thing is
do
that
next.
Derek, or I guess now known as Nicole, has left the band.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. I did not see that. Okay.
So
Oh yeah, I guess they were not touring when I saw them.
That's why,
in
because
March. They were not part of the lineup.
I guess not technically she left the band.
Yeah.
And so I guess she was for the front person, I guess. De facto, like not really the front person, but kind of.
Right.
So
well, like
there might be a little bit of a shift.
I think Dylan's vocals have always been like.
Well, but I mean, he didn't join until Harmlessness, or right before Harmlessness. Like he wasn't on him.
Right, but I mean that's
like whenever, if ever.
That's my favorite iteration. Like I think they've.
No, I agree that I agree Harmlessness.
I think they sound better now than they have ever sounded before. So.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that there's going to be a creative shift. I think, like, or at least for them, like one of their bigger.
This track certainly has the like. Oh, we're on a label now. Sound to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We actually have an advance for this.
And also,
yeah.
Boy. Okay, but anyways, actually,
I mean, that's a fact. I mean, again, they're on Epitaph.
They're actually already technically on Epitaph for Harmlessness.
Were they?
Yeah.
Wait, whoa, hang on. Let me see. Were they on Epitaph?
Harmlessness?
Harmlessness. Oh, it was on Epitaph. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Epitaph. Okay.
Was it really? I thought they were still on like
Broken Worlds
or Broken Worlds.
The rights might have gone over, maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Epitaph all along.
All right, well, alrighty then. Never mind. I was wrong. So disregard what I said in the very beginning about them being on Epitaph. Now they've been on Epitaph.
They've been on Clout.
Interest.
I listened to this. I liked it. I got nothing else to say. I'll check out this record. I'll give them another chance. You know, I still vehemently objected to Harmlessness being on our the year list in 2015, but I'm willing to give this a chance.
I think this one will be slightly less like emo quote marks. I think this will be slightly less so.
I mean, I like the single. It seems the direction is like okay. I can get behind this a bit more, but anyways, next single on the list. We got a new track from Protomartyr, A Private Understanding. They have a new album coming out on, let me see real quick. I think it's in September, but it might be August. Let me see. Yep, okay, Relatives in Descent coming out also on September 29th. It is their first record, or their first LP for Domino Recording Company. So making a pretty big jump there in the labels. And this single fucks so much. It is... I think I've listened to this now probably like 20, 25 times at this point, in that range. It's fucking good. Like, I don't know why it's like I've gravitated so hard toward it, but like I've just been listening to this like nonstop for weeks now. It's a fucking incredible single.
Look, Protomartyr are a good as hell band, and that's just a fact. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, duh. Because I mean, I liked the Devil. Is it Devil in His Youth, or is the album a different name?
The album is called
Agent Intellect.
Holy shit, Agent Intellect.
Okay,
right.
Okay, but yeah, I liked it. I mean that year was like it was overloaded with like really good like post punk albums. Like we had Ought, Viet Cong. Did Ice Age drop that year, or was that 2014? I think Ice Age was 2014. But really, like around that time, we had a lot of really awesome like post punk dropping, and like Protomartyr was towards like the back end, so I kind of like drifted off it. But I love the single. The single is great, and excited for the album. There's just a lot of really great moments. Like the drum fills on here are just fucking like goddamn incredible, and you know the build ups into the hook and the bridge. Just the song is like structured like perfectly. So
it's filthy. Protomartyr make very cold music,
and that's why I love it.
This is that shit right here.
I'm about to move to the Windy City, so I'm feeling this heavy right now. But
shouts out to Detroit as well.
I think by the way, the record release for this is on a boat. Like they're doing a boat party for this, apparently, for the
classic.
Release. But just next single, or does anyone else have something to say about Protomartyr?
I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not a fan of this post-punk movement the same way you're not a fan of the emo revival. So I don't have much credibility.
These are bad takes. What kind of music do you like then? Garbage, shit, trash. Come on now.
Listen to fucking Jimmy Eat World.
Next single, I want to give this one a quick mention. New single from Alex Cameron, featuring Angel Olsen, called "Stranger's Kiss." Listen to this morning. Really nice Springsteen-y type duet ballad. Video is also really funny. Directed by, I think, someone who was in Girls, the Lena Dunham TV series. So, if you like Springsteen, give this a listen. It's a nice little ballad. Of course, Angel Olsen. I mean, you gotta. So, give this a listen. It's really good. And I'm excited for his record as Candy May, which that came out like a couple weeks ago, is also very good. And Lushacris from the Sub is really high on this album and is expecting some pretty good response. So we'll have to see.
Shouts out to Kyle.
So next single, Will, can we skip one real quick? Can you go to Bully, then we'll go to Andrew Savage, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So yeah, Bully came out with a new single. They released their debut album, Feels Like, in 2015. And that was a very good album. Kind of a 90s throwback, almost kind of grunge-ishy indie rock, but some good ass fucking shit. And they just announced they signed to Sub Pop Records, right label. It's a big step up. And now the new album, Losing, is coming out on. Let me look it up here.
It comes
on
out
October 20th.
Okay.
And they released their new single, Feels the Same. It's pretty much business as normal for Bully. A 2-minute short song. I hope, kind of like the World's Beautiful Place song, I like it, but I hope it's not like the best the album has to offer either.
It's like very, this song is super just like consistent, and Bully's good as hell, but this is very much like, oh hey, it's a Bully song. Bully's good as hell. This sounds like a Bully song.
She talks about masturbating, which, you know.
Hell yeah, baby, sign me up.
Yeah, so I'm all in on that. So yeah, good shit. Give it a listen if you like rock music.
Also, sorry.
Masturbation.
And sorry for skipping this single, but new Andrew Savage single. Andrew Savage, of course, of Parquet Courts, putting out a solo record in October. Put out a single a couple weeks ago called "Winter in the South." Also, a really great track, really nice little love song with, of course, like, you know, the Parquet Courts feel, but a bit more of a bit more stripped down, a bit more relaxed, a bit more laid back. So I'm into it. One of my favorite songs of the year so far. Give it a listen. Winter in the South. A Savage. And finally, Will wanted me to put this one on the list. The new single from Brockhampton, Gummy. They are, I think, prepping for Saturation 2, which could come out like kind of anytime.
I believe so.
Like anytime this month, essentially, is what I've heard. But Will,
wait, really?
I think so. Yeah, they're putting out the second mixtape like real soon.
I haven't even listened to the first one yet. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you.
I only listened to it once, and I don't really want to listen to it any other times because it's not that it's bad. It's more of I hate seeing Kevin Abstract on Twitter, and his presence makes me like not want to listen to Brockhampton because there is good people in Brockhampton, but
that's given a level. I've never listened to Brockhampton. I've listened to them, but I haven't listened to Kevin Abstract solo.
I would not.
And I haven't seen his Twitter account, so I don't have any. I kind of came in with no preconceived notions about this group. I still don't really know any of the people in it. All I know is that it slaps. Every single one of their songs are slappers. And this song "Gummy" is no exception.
I'm kind of not crazy about hip hop that much anymore, unfortunately. I think 2017 I've swung into full dad mode, and just realized that hip hop might not be for me anymore. Yeah, rap is crap. Like I went to the Kendrick Lamar show, and during Travis Scott, everyone around me was going crazy, and I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore, man. I don't know if I like rap music.
I can't get jiggy with this shit.
Yeah, but I haven't listened to like many of the I've listened to like Damn, Beautiful Thugger Girls, the Future albums. That's pretty much it. Like I don't know, rap music maybe doesn't do it.
I'm on the same boat. Like I didn't even listen to. Well, I have no interest in listening to Young Thug album because it's like I've made my opinions clear, and I don't really. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any change.
I was just thinking like this time last year, I was banging that YG album like consistently. That thing was front to back bangers. I just think
that song's album's so good.
I guess I'm more asking a question. Has it been a weak year for hip hop?
Yes.
Or is it just me
I think it's
getting
a little,
old.
I'd say a little
there's
column
not enough.
A, little column A, a little column B on that one. I think it's a little.
There's
bit
not
both.
enough. There aren't enough trumpets or yelling in hip hop, and so I'm feeling sad.
Shit.
I am so sad.
HH. Brother.
Right.
All right.
But
all right. So are we about to do? Are we about to do it?
Are we doing it?
Oh,
Is
we're
it time?
doing it. It is time. AJ,
Smash that motherfucking button.
AJ, it is time. The Arcade Fire Stand has logged on, and
The day has come.
all right,
The time is here.
Let's get it.
With the
Let's get
welcome to the Thunderdome of takes. Jesus Christ. We are now going to discuss the 5th studio album from Montreal-sourced indie rock icons, the fabulous, the fantastic, the one, the only. There's a lot more than one of them. The Arcade Fire. They have unleashed everything now onto the world, following a marketing campaign for the album that a lot of people certainly had their own thoughts about, but now we are able to dissect the album, appreciate it on its own merits, and sort of judge it as a piece of music, hopefully, rather than the product of a lengthy and sometimes grating marketing campaign. I believe that we have nearly every point on the take spectrum represented on this podcast, and so we're just going to kind of jump right in and get our hands dirty and just kind of talk about what's happening on everything now.
Before we begin, let's all establish real quick our not our takes, but where we're at in terms of Arcade Fire stand-up prior to everything now.
Okay.
You get.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what we'll do. We'll do this. You get one sentence to talk about Arcade Fire as a band, and then we will do one sentence reviews of everything now, and we will go from there.
Okay. AJ.
So
AJ, you start off.
Speak tactfully.
Okay, AJ, do you?
No. AJ's last.
Okay,
I'll do my Arcade Fire take first. I will do my Everything Now take last. So we will cycle around. We will come full circle. So I will start by saying that Arcade Fire are my favorite band of all time, and Funeral is the greatest album ever made.
All right, I'll go next. Funeral in the Suburbs are the greatest albums ever. That is my Arcade Fire take.
I mean, I don't think I am as huge of a stan as AJ, but they are also, I would consider them one of my favorite bands of all time. And first 3 albums are 10s.
I barely listened to them, but I like them. That's it. I mean, I did listen to the full Discog today, but we'll get to that later.
Matty, let's get your one sentence Everything Now take.
Really gets grating in the midsection, but the beginning and the end are pretty decent.
All right. I will say pretty okay and / good in general, but bad in the context of Arcade Fire's discography.
My take is, wow. Wow.
That's certainly a short sentence.
Wow.
My take is, this is my favorite album of the year so far, and I think it's genius.
There we have it, folks.
There it is.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, that's nasty. That is a
okay.
That is a smoky take.
Before we tack all of your points.
Yeah, here's the thing. I always knew I was going to like this album. I enjoyed all 4 of the singles. I liked the direction that they were taking. They're making pop music now. There's no like pretensions of it trying to be indie rock or like that sort of genre.
It's pretentious about everything else.
Well, Reflector had those moments where it like sort of dipped into kind of other genres sort of, and that always rubbed me the wrong way about Reflector, whereas Everything Now was just very much like, people say they doubled down on the whole like disco direction, and I can see that to a point, but it's really more just like a refinement of their going just straight up like pop now. And I liked the sound on all of the singles. I thought they were groovy as hell. And so I said, like, I like 4 of the songs I've heard on this album. I don't think I'm going to come out of this album like thinking it's a disaster or thinking like Arcade Fire have fallen off essentially. So I always knew that I was going to like this album. I did not expect that like from the first listen I was going to love it so much, have so much fun with it, and find like very kind of insightful and surprising moments on the album that I wasn't expecting from Arcade Fire. And a lot of the things that people use as complaints against the album, I sort of understand why people wouldn't like that, but I think like in context of the whole project, they make sense. And I honestly don't actively dislike any of the songs on here, which is more than I can say about Reflector, for example.
See, what's your worst take about that is that you actively dislike We Exist.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We Exist is a good song. Are you kidding
No,
me?
not We Exist.
Yeah, no, hell yeah, Matty.
Normal Person.
Yeah.
I dislike Flashbulb Eyes, Normal Person. For you already know kind of enjoy.
So you're telling me that you think that Chemistry is a better song than Normal Person?
Oh.
I think I can enjoy Chemistry more than Normal Person.
Okay. Before we get into the non-singles, let's try our best to like discuss like in real time what we were thinking about the singles like as they were rolling out. So I'll start. Let me start. Okay, so Everything Now. I thought Everything Now was a great single. I thought that was a really great song. Was like, hey, this is like nice little, sort of like 70s, dance throwback a little bit. I'm really digging this.
Pan Flute Defense Force.
Exactly, the flute is great, and just again, it's like, oh, whose mic is like scratching? Who's like scratching their mic right now?
Probably me.
But yeah, Everything Now was a great single. Creature Comfort, also a really good single. Was like, oh, hey, I actually might really like this Arcade Fire album. Signs of Life, a little iffy on it. It kind of, with each listen, my opinions vary with each listen, because there's some times where I'm feeling it, other times where I'm like, eh. And then Electric Blue is all, it's just like, Will's attempting to ruin my takes. But Everything Blue is also really good. So I would say that I really dug 3 out of the 4 singles, and 4 on a good day. So, but
yeah, I guess I'll just kind of piggyback off of what you did, because I was gonna say a good thing to start on would be the title track, Everything Now, because I feel like that's the least divisive track on the album. I think most people can kind of agree that that's
it's good.
That's a great song, regardless of it's just got that like ABBA channeled disco. It's I don't know. It sounds like something you might find on Reflector, but and then it's got this kind of motif lyrics that Arcade Fire always does about like technological alienation or whatever. Like, I don't know, they do it a lot, like We Used to Wait or like Neon
We're
Bible.
so connected, but are we even friends?
Except on this track, it's supposed to be like ironic or something. I don't know, but if I'm just doing the rest of the singles, I think Creature Comfort's actually probably my favorite song on the album, just in general. I love the synth lead. I think it's really tight, and I really like Regine's backing vocals. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts, just like on the album. And what are the other ones? Signs of Life.
Yeah,
I think is okay. That's probably my least favorite of all the singles. I just think it's kind of maybe a little bit flat. And then Electric Blue is one of them that actually grew on me today, like in the last hour. I re-listened to Everything Now, and I liked Electric Blue a lot more than I had. It's definitely more, I don't know, it feels more like psychedelic than the other ones on here, a little like less disco-y. I could hear it being like a more synthy B-side from the suburbs almost, if that makes sense. I don't think Regine's vocals are that annoying like some people have been saying. But other than that, outside of the singles, those are generally my favorite tracks on the album. The other ones I'm kind of hit or miss on, but I guess we can get into that later.
So Everything Now, it's a good song. I liked it all along, but it made me realize I'm going to hate this album, because I realized they're going to double down on everything they did on Reflector. And then Creature Comfort, I like the bass synth lead, but everything else is kind of but the synth lead kind of saves it. Signs of Life is mid as hell. extremely mid. And then Electric Blue is my favorite MGMT song in several years. So
Okay.
Right. You already kind of gave yours, AJ. So
and also I want to plug before we do it. Actually, technically, I gave a live first listen reaction to this album on Twitter. Check it out. There's going to be a link in the bio to this.
Fuck off.
Link in the bio.
Here's the thing,
first reaction.
There's a disclaimer that I like sort of gave, but like really need to give again. Outside of being the branded Arcade Fire stan that I am, my experience of this album is always going to be forever tainted by like seeing them live an hour before the like coming out of an Arcade Fire concert and then coming home and downloading this album. Like will have always tainted my experience of this album because like, you know, I literally just saw them. I saw the passion that they still bring when they perform live, and I was like, it's fucking Arcade Fire. Like, even if the music sounds different, like they are still the same band. They still mean, like, they genuinely mean everything that they are doing here. And when Win would like introduce some of the new songs, he would like apologize for the jokes, but not like, it wasn't like he was like, hey, like we did something really stupid. It was like, hey, like sorry that what we tried to do didn't really connect. And I think like their reactions on Twitter have been, I think like when an album gets as this is something we also haven't talked about, when an album gets as trashed as this one has, and this album has been relentlessly dragged online. That people were we talked about it earlier, but people were like waiting, eagerly anticipating the dunking on this album and just tearing Arcade Fire apart. And I think people have been needlessly cruel in regards to this album, and the band has just sort of taken that like, hey, if you like it, like thanks approach, and not like it's for the fans, you don't get it, but just a sort of like, hey, we made the album, and if you enjoy it, thanks for listening. And so I like to see that. But circling back around, I do think that Arcade Fire genuinely believe in this album. I do think this is the album that they wanted to make, and the strange marketing campaign be damned, I do think their hearts were in the right places on this album, and it sort of puts into context some of the questionable things that they were doing, I think, at certain moments. So with all of that said, like when I got home, I started the album up again from the very beginning, and like it starts off with 3 of the singles you've already heard, and so I'm like, I know I like this stuff, and then listening to Creature Comfort, and I see Peter Pan up next on the track list, and I go, oh, this is the one that I was warned about. Like the old Reddit.com said Peter Pan is a train wreck of a song that should be avoided at all costs. So is this it? Is this where like where I find?
Didn't you listen to the leak?
No, I did not listen to the leak.
Okay, I thought you did, but
I tried to find it, but I couldn't, so I didn't. Because
okay.
I'm a true stan till the day I die. And so Peter Pan comes on, and I was like, you know what? This is kind of fun. Like, this is kind of cute. It's silly. It's actually, I think, kind of good. There's a good, like, melody to it, and it's sort of funny. And they had played Chemistry live, so, like, I knew what to expect with that. But we'll talk a little bit more about Chemistry later. But people, I think, like, misunderstand
I want to get into that now.
Okay, let's just get into Chemistry then. So
yeah, the song is they tried electro polka on us. They tried to do that. They tried to do that.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you for reminding me so much. The only thing I tweeted after listening to this album for the first time was a picture of the cover of Wildflower, and I said 2.0. And I don't think a lot of people understood what I was saying there. But this album reminds me of Wildflower quite a bit, in that it's just this big, fun sort of like celebration that goes all over the place.
It's not fun though. They're like condescending the entire time.
I have a blast listening to this album. No, I think it's super fun. So Chemistry is like, people have basically deciphered for the most part that Chemistry is sort of a love song written from the perspective of like a corporation to a customer rather than like a romantic relationship, but still sort of presented in the same way. And that's pretty clear in the lyrics. And I do think Chemistry is probably the weakest song on the album, just by nature of the really simple songwriting and the like, go to the store, go to the bank, get some cash, buy some products. But I think
No, but the chorus though, you and me, we got chemistry. What the hell were they thinking? What were they thinking? What were they?
I mean,
what were
again,
they
they were making a song for their kid, obviously, like Win and Regine, and like let's
Yeah,
write a
child.
cute little song for our kid, and that's okay. Can we? Okay, so like one of the first when we made like the Everything Now like group chat on Skype to like discuss like, well, how are we going to approach this review? One of the first things that I think Dylan suggested this, like, whose fault is this? Which AJ, I mean, you can't, because you're not like you're of course very positive. So whose fault is this? Like I don't. Basically,
I have an answer.
Okay, so why is this album as like not bad? Let's just say why is this album as divisive?
Why is it the way that it is?
I have an answer. I do have.
So
an
why
answer.
is it this way?
Okay, AJ, what is your answer?
No, what are you? I have the answer. So what are your guys' thoughts?
I'm gonna make a bad joke real quick. I might censor this in post. But
it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay. Basically, Everything Now is the best case for birth control since MTV's 16 and Pregnant. It seems like the weird thing about this record. I'll give like my I don't really have like a whole lot to say. Like I thought, well, actually, like before listening today, I was like, I probably don't have a whole lot to say. It'll probably just be like AJ and Will like fighting and me like trying to be the voice of reason. But now I actually have like some takes on this record, which is surprising. And my takes is that like, yeah, as I said, the midsection is really, really hit or miss. Like from Signs of Life.
It's not hit or miss. It's just miss.
Okay, Will.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Infinite Contents are probably my least favorite on the album, even more than Chemistry.
Okay,
I really could do without those.
Okay, let me continue. Okay, let me continue. So basically, from like Signs of Life to the Infinite Contents, that is really hit or miss, and that's where the midsection of the album pretty much is like it's real iffy. Like it gets really iffy. It picks back up. It doesn't really like fully pick back up until Put Your Money on Me, which is the best song on the album. Is that a? Can anyone get behind me on that one?
Actually, I was gonna say
I don't agree with it, but I'll support it.
Okay,
Put Your Money on Me just clicked for me on my listen tonight. Like like 34th listen, I finally get it. I don't know.
Put Your Money on Me is the greatest song ever made. That song is so good.
Put Your Money on Me, like it sounds like something that could easily you could easily slide that song into Reflector and it would not sound out of place at all, in my opinion.
No. Okay, I want to get back a little bit too. So you extended so Signs of Life and Creature Comfort I think are outside of this middle section that everyone has such a problem with, that like it kills the album essentially. I think it's Peter Pan, Chemistry, Infinite Content, and then Infinite Content Part 2 that I think people like really have a problem with. And then if you like Electric Blue or not, it sort of falls to the wayside. But I don't think it should be included in there, especially because it was a single.
Those four songs.
So it's those four songs, which when you look at them amount to like less than 10 minutes. So again, there's if that's your problem with the album, there's much more good than bad on this album.
Well, my issue.
Well, that's implying the rest of the album is
the
good.
issue with the issue with the midsection is that like leading into it, it's a little iffy, and then leading out of it, it's still like a little iffy because like I said, I like Electric Blue. I like what's the song after Electric Blue? Let me check the track.
Good Goddamn.
Good Goddamn
is also
that song's not
good. But the problem with Electric Blue and Good Goddamn is that they're not good enough to forgive that midsection. It doesn't really get into to Put Your Money on Me where it's like, okay, I'm back in.
I guess why I'm the one who likes the album then is that the middle section I don't think is disastrous enough to derail my enjoyment of the album, because I guess I see the sort of argument that like if you're not loving the album by the time you hit that middle section, it sure as hell isn't going to convince you that you're going to like this album, and I can see how it would get laborious. But the thing about Chemistry is that every time I listen to Chemistry, I'm like, I shouldn't like this song. I should not think this is a good song. And I'm listening to it, and I'm like, it's fun, it's catchy, it's kind of quirky, a sort of fun interlude. And then I go, okay, wait, no, it's bad. And then it's over. It ends. Every single time I start to question Chemistry, that like it just like it's the end of the song, and I go, oh, that song is like the perfect length. That song like it has just ended, and I was starting to not enjoy it. So I think Chemistry is fun. I enjoy it being on the album. And then
Chemistry sounds promising. Sorry, Will, but Chemistry, it starts off kind of promising. Like, because I remember when, like, my first listen, I'm like, oh, this isn't as bad as everyone's making it out to be. And then once I got to the end, I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, this song is no for me.
Okay, here's
okay.
what it sounds like. It sounds like a mix of a Weird Al, like one of his polka things.
Yes, yeah.
But also Lou Reed's Mistrial.
Right.
His like rap album in the 80s.
Okay, here's the thing. Like Peter Pan and Chemistry, and the Infinite Contents, I guess. Like they made me laugh out loud the first time I heard them, but like not in a bad way of being like, haha, these songs are bad. Being like, this is like fun. I don't know. I think it's like and that's why I drew the parallel to Wildflower on this album, is because like I really have fun with this album. I think it's like super. I don't think it's as preachy as people are making it out to be, and we can talk a little bit later about some of the lyrics, but it's not like it's like I just think it's like super fun, and the Infinite Contents. Wait, no, I had one more thing I wanted to say about Chemistry.
That's the closest the album gets. The closest the album gets to preachy is the Infinite Contents, because.
Okay, no, hold on.
Let's. Okay, can we?
Signs of Life exist.
Let me say my last thing about Chemistry. Let me say my last thing about Chemistry. Probably the funniest moment on the album, just like the most, I guess, like genuinely laughable, because it's sort of like purposefully lazy songwriting, is like the end of the sort of like last chorus where it's he's like, you haven't even got to know me yet, and then it's sort of just like he like spirals off of the melody, and it's like, but you're gonna love me, baby, when you get to know me, and like it doesn't match up with the instrumental at all, and it's just like this sort of horrible vocal delivery. I think that is so fucking hysterical every single time. It's just like this stupid, shitty line that's just like, it's fun. I don't know. I have fun with that.
Okay, I came with a good burn. Okay, so remember the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game when Butler started to try to talk about healthcare?
Yeah.
And Jake Steele cuts him off. Like, we're not trying to talk about politics. This album sounds like if she'd let him talk for 48 minutes.
How? No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
If she let him talk for 48 minutes, this is what he would have said.
I mean, here's the thing, Will. Okay, Will. Okay, they said that indie rock was dead, but Win Butler put up a double-double in last night's Celebrity All-Star Game. I mean,
oh god.
By the way, that is my favorite headline of 2017. Despite everything going on in politics right now, that's my favorite headline of the year.
That's 2006. That's 2016.
No, it's 2017. I'm looking at the article right now. It's 2017.
He didn't play in the All-Star game this year. I didn't.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It was last year, and he retired after last year.
No, he did. Well, do you want me to? I will post the link in the chat. It was this year.
Yes, please, because I am insisting that did not happen.
Okay, let me get back to my who I blame, quote unquote, what happened with this album on. I blame us. I blame people who listen to Arcade Fire, people who discuss Arcade Fire, and people who write about Arcade Fire, because everything about this album is sort of like set up. It's sort of nudged to be this easy opportunity to just dunk all over the band, and like everyone just sort of jumped on the hook of being like, wow, this marketing campaign is just god awful. And it's like, a fucking course it is. Like the sort of base level commentary of the album is like, hey guys, did you know that consuming so much like media and so many products and all this like capitalistic wanton is sort of maybe not the best thing? And people sort of see that and go, oh, Arcade Fire think they can tackle capitalism with their next album. How dumb are they? And it's like, come on now. Like, have a little bit of sense. Have a little bit of sense when you're listening to this album, and maybe don't take everything at surface value when they're saying stuff like, we're infinitely content, like all of my money is spent on this infinite content. If you think that's sort of supposed to be this genuine insight that you're taking away from the album, you're a moron.
Here's my refute. You said like it's an easy target. You're right. It is an easy target. Like but the thing is that like they delivered though. Like Peter Pan sounds like a fart machine. Okay, that's what the thing is. Okay, it's one thing to write a bad song. You know, that's my belief that creativity cannot be forced. Sometimes you have to be in a time and place. So sometimes you just cannot write a good song. Bad songs happen. But there is no excuse for their major label debut for the production quality on Peter Pan to sound so thin and horrible and farty. Okay, like
So
This should not sound like that.
I guess we can talk a little bit about the production now, because I think
I actually, because I did a deep. I mean, I listened to the whole discog today, so I can definitely I kind of have I guess a fresh perspective on just the change in production quality. But I'll let you guys. I'll let the experts on the panel go at it first.
It sounds so. I mean, it shouldn't sound like that.
I mean, my problem is not really the production, but more in the songwriting and the instrumentation. I guess that.
No,
so
those are
but
bad.
I guess production
Don't
too.
get me wrong.
But basically, I think my issue is that there's times in this album, of course, everything now sounds fucking great. The band is all there. It just sounds amazing. Signs of Life. I like the production on Signs of Life. I like the instrumentation. I'm still a little iffy on I'm iffy on overall, but when I'm grooving with it, I'm grooving with it. But there's certain songs in here
But Creature Comfort production sounds so good on that.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna mention that too. But there's other times where even on songs that I like, it just feels kind of empty and kind of sterile at times, which is something that that I don't expect from Arcade Fire. I think, of course, I think the first Infinitely Content, the punk rock version, is really one of the worst rock songs that I've heard all year. It is really boring.
Which one?
Okay, but
the first
it's
one.
a minute and a half. It's a minute and a half long.
I don't care.
The second one is worse. That one is way worse.
Okay,
Arcade Fire thought they could do country, and they thought wrong.
Okay, I like that
so
one more,
wrong.
but they're both not good. They're both not good, but they're both not good for different reasons. Production-wise, the first one is worse, but the second one, I actually like the instrumentation, but it's just Win Butler is just the lyrics are just it's such a bad
It's the same lyrics. It's the exact same lyrics.
Win Butler has never been a poet. I don't think the lyrics on this album are particularly worse than any other Arcade Fire album. I think people take issue with just I guess kind of the way that they're delivered and kind of the way that the songs are arranged. And since that seems to be kind of a weak spot, I think people are focusing heavier on the lyrics and being a little more analytical than maybe they should be, given what they've always been doing. So I feel half the disappointment in general is just rooted in
if they'd given us
more
Neighborhood
delivery
number
than
3
lyrics.
instead of Chemistry, I would not be criticizing the lyrics. But they gave us a fucking electro polka song. That's polka. But the point is that I'm not.
To round back on my point about I think put it simply, there's a certain vitality that this album just kind of lacks compared to previous Arcade Fire albums. It just seems obviously that happens with. Again, they've been around for half a decade or a decade and a half now. It happens, but there are certain times where, again, you do hear that vitality. You hear it in Creature Comfort. You hear it in Everything Now. You hear it in Put Your Money on Me. But there's other times where that vitality just simply is not there. And generally for an entire album, they've always been able to keep up that feeling of what we're making is essential to us. And there's times in this album where, again, like I said, AJ, you say this album is fun, but I agree. I understand. I even agree to.
Well, I think the bad. You're sort of mirroring my realization of what made this album sort of so special and why I genuinely do think it's genius. So I'll hold off on that a little bit. But
no, I think you should go.
I think that
why is this album genius?
I think that the fun parts of it, or the parts that people say are bad, the parts that people infinite contents suck, chemistry sucks. I think those are fun sort of on purpose. But we were talking about Wynn's vocal delivery and the sort of lack of urgency in the album, and I think to me, when I listen to this, all of that seems purposeful and is this sort of I'm not saying it's bad on purpose, because I don't think it's bad, but songs like Put Your Money on Me and We Don't Deserve Love are the sort of reveal the thesis of this album, as it were, which is just this sort of they're not going to make Funeral again, and they're not going to make Neon Bible again, and they're not going to make The Suburbs again, and how could they, and how could anyone even sort of try to do that? So I think that Wynn's refined vocal restrained vocal presentation, and the way that he delivers those lyrics on the back half of the album basically all through Electric Blue, I think it's just like this incredible streak of this sort of like come down from whatever the hell was happening in the first half of the album, and this like very just like sombering sort of meta commentary on the album itself and Arcade Fire and the band, because like it's impossible for Arcade Fire and whatever album they make, whatever this album ended up being, to sort of exist outside of that shadow of like their Arcade Fire. They made the greatest album of all time. They won the best album of the year Grammy. They are the champions of indie rock music. They are, with very good arguments case, like the biggest band in the world. And like, how are you going to make what a lot of people essentially sort of see as this mediocre album, and so Put Your Money on Me and We Don't Deserve Love are like genuinely, to me, very sombering songs where the instrumentation, I think, is working very well, with Wynn's kind of held back and like purposefully downtrodden vocals to the point where it's just sort of like, hey, I don't know, we are trying. How would you have made this sort of great Arcade Fire album in 2017? People
Here's
are
the
going.
thing,
I'm with you on this one, AJ.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm leaning negative. I'm with you in that, like, I don't think this album is like it being bad is, or not really it being bad, but it being like not up to snuff is not. It's not that big of a deal, because it's they've already proven themselves time and time again. Like, they don't need to prove themselves anymore.
Here's where it comes
but you're saying that like, oh well, like, why are we expecting them to make Neon Bible again? Or, like, I'm not expecting them to make that again, but I'm still expecting better than this. And that doesn't make it not mediocre album.
Right. Well, I'm not trying
just
to.
because like
I
they're
can't.
saying, oh, like,
No,
we can't make Suburbs.
can't.
It's like, you're right, but you can make at least a decent album.
I can't convince anyone that this album sounds good. That's the one thing like I cannot win in an argument about, is that sort of like, hey, the album is good. There's no convincing it there. But what I'm saying is that there's sort of, in a way, I don't like the it's bad on purpose argument, and that's absolutely not what I'm doing here. But I do sort of think that like the moments of restraint on this album are meant to sort of bring this in your face, loud, like, marketing campaign sort of to full circle, where it's there's so much noise surrounding the album, like when you're not listening to the album, and then you sort of get to the point of the album at the end there, as it were, and it just sort of reveals that it's, I don't know. It's a comment on like artistry in 2017 and what it means to be like a part of this industry. And I really think this is a take that everyone should be able to agree with. No one else could have made this out. Like, this is only Arcade Fire could have made this album.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
and I think, to me personally, it's the only album Arcade Fire could have made in 2017. Like, I don't think that like there could have been stylistic shifts, or like that they had this big long expansive track list that they like kind of chopped down, and that like the way this album was put out into the world was like this big mistake, and that, oh, like we wish we could take it back. I genuinely believe that Arcade Fire like put out the album that they meant to put out, and I do think it's going to grow on people. I think like maybe even by year's end we're going to see more people being like, you know what, we dunked on that Arcade Fire album too hard.
That's something I disagree with. I do not think Tom's going to.
I agree with AJ on that. I'm with AJ that I do think that over time, like, once like the hype wears off, like once you get out of that mindset of like, oh, this is the new Arcade Fire album, I do think people are going, oh, this isn't as bad.
I think this is getting kind of a. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, I think this is getting.
Chemistry will never. Those songs will never gain.
Right, but that's like sort of the point. That's sort of the point.
The point is that those are bad songs. Is that what you're saying?
Again, I don't think they're bad. I think they're fun diversions with purposes, and that like it doesn't have to be like, you know, I don't like. So there are songs that people do not enjoy on the record. Does that disqualify it as a record existing? I mean, there are good songs on the album too. There are plenty of good songs on bad albums. And Arcade Fire, this is a comment I saw in the sub somewhere that I really appreciated. So I won't talk shit about the sub this episode. I'll actually give him a little bit of praise, because the discussion thread for this album that went up like today or yesterday actually had lots of thoughtful commentary in it, outside of like, it's shit. Someone was saying that like at this point in your career, you are basically making you're making albums to add like a song or two to your touring set list, and you don't really need to try anywhere outside of that. And Arcade Fire certainly could have just made an album where like the songs weren't meaningful in any way, and in some ways meaningful means like, what the fuck is this, which is Peter Pan and Chemistry and Infinite Content. Like those songs are fun with purposes, and whether or not you have fun with them, I think is sort of up to you. But I don't think they're just like, wow, these are like on the surface level just like bad songs that accomplish absolutely nothing. I think they accomplish something, and whether you enjoy listening to them or not.
I think Infinite Content accomplished this. I'll give you but I don't think Peter Pan or Chemistry accomplished anything. I don't think they're accomplishments.
I don't mind Peter Pan. I think Peter Pan, like, I don't get the hate for it. It's okay. It's an okay song.
It sounds like farts.
I don't care.
I genuinely love Peter Pan. I genuinely love Peter Pan. Like, I was shocked at how much I loved it.
Hang on, hold on, let me confirm this. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Everything Nowco has liked our tweet announcing that we are recording an Indieheads podcast tonight.
Oh wow!
So don't listen to it. Yeah,
they are aware that we exist, but that's the breaking news. But anyways, Peter Pan. Here's the thing. I don't mind the part. Like, here's the thing. Like, buddy. Like, I guess. Listen to Alex. I mean, I've been getting into Alex Cameron a little bit lately, and like he uses kind of those like very like basic synth presets that sound like kind of shitty, but like they work. And so that, I guess that kind of prepped me a little bit, and like I don't mind the shitty sound. I guess
I don't want to talk about Peter Pan and Chemistry anymore, because I don't think those are
we've said
the like. I don't think those are the most interesting parts of the album. It's sort of you like them or you don't. I've made my case for like why I think they're worthwhile songs, and like that maybe they're sort of bad on purpose, but I don't think they're bad songs.
I have two things to say that aren't related to Peter Pan and Chemistry. For one, I think I said this in the chat, but the first time I listened to the Infinite Contents for the first time, you know that thing where if you hear a word too many times, it starts to sound weird? That happened to me with the words infinite and the words content. The second thing I want to say is rate my take. The critical and fan reception of this album is similar to that of Painting With by Animal Collective in the year of our Lord, 2016.
It's much worse.
Yeah, I would say like it's like I can get behind that, but like it's like that, but like this is like on a much higher scale, and also the marketing campaign wasn't as like egregious.
It's worse because people are dunking on Arcade Fire harder.
And Arcade Fire,
they're a bigger target than Animal Collective.
I also think
Animal Collective are still a super hipster.
Yeah, I think the disparity between like quality of album and heat of takes is also way larger for this.
That's true, because Painting With is actually good.
Right.
I cannot be on this podcast with these things.
That weakens your. Okay. Anyway, I want to get back to sort of this thing too, that there's a consistency to this album that wasn't present on Reflector, which I really appreciate. I think like the synth lines are sort of similar on basically every song, and there's actually this motif that repeats through. I think it's in Peter Pan a little bit. It's in Good Goddamn. It's in Put Your Money on Me and We Don't Deserve Love. And there's this sort of like warbling synth sound. If you're listening kind of close enough, you can sort of hear it. It's like this up down motif that kind of repeats a lot of times, and like it lends it this consistency that Reflector didn't have, which is like why I do think already that I like this album more than Reflector, and I had in my mind convinced myself that I liked Reflector more than The Suburbs, so I have to say that this is my third favorite Arcade Fire album. I have to.
That might be even worse than calling it your album of the year. Not saying that this is better than The Suburbs. That take is not allowed.
Look, yeah, even I'm not convinced of that take. That take frightens me, and I'm the one who said it. But like, if my order going in beforehand was like Suburbs last, Reflector, Neon Bible, Funeral tied at the top. And if I can say that I like this more than Reflector, I have to say I like it more than The Suburbs, which is fucked up, but you know, that's where we are. Welcome to Tape City.
Oh God, that is not good.
But what I really like, sort of, when I realized that, like, hey, this album is truly something special, is this idea that it loops back into itself, because the last
are you kidding me?
Yeah, here we go.
This is like the most. The tracks are literally called "Everything Now Continued," both of them. So
yes,
oh my god, they loop into each other. That's so revolutionary.
But here's why. No. Not that they actually loop into each other, because they loop into each other kind of poorly. It just cuts out and then starts again. But the idea that they loop into each other is what really kind of hooks me here, because like, We Don't Deserve Love and Put Your Money on Me are easily the best songs of this album by far. They're like genuinely emotional, I think, moving songs, or they're almost there. You know what I mean? They're so close to, when you listen to those, you're like, oh, this is Arcade Fire. It's sort of so close. They're so close to this meaningful sound again. We're almost there, and especially if you didn't really like this album, if this album didn't really hook you, like it sort of has hooked me. You're like, oh, we're getting there, and then it just sort of starts over again, and you're like, we were so close to getting this kind of meaningful content. And I think that like the album was made in a way to purposefully make a lot of people hate it, in that was the commentary on itself, and like they have sort of positioned this album as an experiment and a meta text on what it means to be the biggest band in the world and to make what many people would consider a bad album, even though it's not. But it's this like forced reflection on artistry that I am just obsessed with in every way. I think there's so many fascinating things happening on this album.
I think it's pretty okay. But
should we like?
I will
head ratings on this
guy. I'll say one genuinely nice thing about it is that I still don't know if I think I might prefer it over Reflector, simply because it is worse than Reflector. But Reflector is just a slog for me to get through. It's just so long. It's checking my watch the entire time. But Everything Now, it's a shorter album, and it feels even shorter than it is.
Absolutely,
it feels shorter than 48 minutes.
100%.
That's a very good thing about Everything Now.
That's because the questionable. I'm doing air quotes, which you can't see. The questionable songs in the middle are so brief that it like really brings the length, because like the end of this album is genuinely, I think, just like Reflector, some of the best stuff Arcade Fire has done. The singles at the front end are all fun and different enough to sort of keep you entertained while they're doing it. There's that interlude. I consider 5 through 8 one big interlude of just kind of like weird sonic experimentation, and it either gets you or it doesn't, but it's gone almost as soon as it starts. It's quick enough. I do think, this album is infinitely listenable, infinitely consumable. The loop helps in that, and I think the fact that like there are genuinely very good songs on this album helps with that, and that's why it's my album of the year, is because like I've been obsessed with it since it came out, and I can't stop listening to it, and I'm like, I shouldn't like this, I should find something I don't like about this, but I fucking cannot.
You're not looking hard enough.
I guess final thoughts. I mean, prior to yesterday, I was like pretty like, it's okay. I don't know. I don't have much to say. But now, like, I've listened to it a couple times. I listened to all the Arcade Fire albums today, just so I can come in a bit prepared. And like, there's a jump in quality and a jump not really a jump, more of a dip in quality and a dip in just that feeling that the sound just doesn't quite do it for me. There's still some very good songs here that really do like that, almost recreate that feeling like, oh, I'm really listening to an Arcade Fire album. But here it's like, but at the same time, it's like the stakes aren't that high for this album. Like it's not an album that has high stakes. Like Funeral, like obviously the stakes are fucking high. Neon Bible, Suburbs, Reflected to an extent, those stakes are high. But here it's like, the bands they've had they're getting older, they're kind of relaxing a bit more, wanting to just kind of have fun. They don't really need to like have to make this like really try hard artistic statement. It's more of let's just make the songs that we want to make, and there's some fun stuff. There's some fun stuff that can be added to the live set, and like for what that is, this album is fine. I can't get too upset about this album, pretty much.
But that's not what they did. I think there are genuinely daring things that they did on this album, and they are not.
I'll give you that they were daring. On
yes,
this album.
Sure.
They definitely went there.
Yeah, they could have made like the boring. Would any of you call this album safe?
No.
Probably not. No.
And so I think there's merit to that, and I do think there's a lot of fascinating things happening on this album that people are overlooking because they're going, it's not Funeral, it's not Arcade Fire, why did they make a disco album? Which, like, if you don't like the sound of this album, that's fine. No one can ever convince you that, like, oh, you're wrong about how the album sounds. If you don't like the sounds of the album, that's up to you. But I think that, like, the takes that are going around of like Arcade Fire have completely lost their direction. I'm like, wow, this album is so senseless and so meaningless. And, like, the lyrics are insensitive and problematic and yada yada yada. I think like those takes are all genuinely wrong, and that there's a lot more happening on this album that people are giving it credit for, and people just aren't willing to give it credit for because they were ready to hate the album. And the album is like, it's sort of, this album is Arcade Fire playing 4-dimensional chess with the music industry, listeners, and the press.
All right, AJ. No. Okay, AJ, you can't claim that about me because I like the singles. I was pretty on board with the album, pretty much with I liked all the singles quite a bit.
I did write in the chat. Matty's going to call this his favorite Arcade Fire album, and he's going to ruin all the credibility of this podcast.
I mean, again, you guys made that take, and it's not true because of that midsection. Because that midsection, I support your take that it's fun and it's them like not trying to like it's I guess some kind of like not purposely bad but not like it's hard. It basically just more of like them loosening up a little bit, not trying to like whatever it is. But yeah, that midsection really. I mean, it is short, but it's just like really not up to snuff. That it really does bring the album down overall. And yeah, but have we discussed? Oh yeah, we already discussed like what Infinite Content's the worst one. And I didn't really get to finish this, but like AJ, you like but it's so short. Like here's the thing with Infinite Content, the first one, it's a punk song. Like punk songs are fucking short. That's the point. So when it's not good off the bat, then it's not going to be good overall. And it's like, but just okay. Final overall, it's okay. I think like right now my feelings are kind of raw and like I'm kind of I'm stanced up a bit more about this album, but like by the end of the year, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's some good songs here to throw on some.
Are you gonna have your top 10?
No, God no. My top 10's a lot. My top 10 is pretty clutch right now, so it's gonna take a lot to permeate that, and the sound does not come close. Top 50 though, we'll see. We'll see top 50, but top 10
it might be in your top 50 albums you've listened to this year.
Possibly. It depends. It depends. Yeah. We'll see. Like I said, I do predict that I will warm up to this album towards the end of the year once the hype cycle dies down. Because that's happened before with a couple albums with me, where the hype cycle dies down and I enjoy it a bit more. So that's my take. It's okay, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just okay.
There's so much wrong.
Okay, Will, just fucking... Okay, Will, throw your takes.
I've given all my takes. I mean, it's not...
Well, give your
singles, Everything Now is a great song. Creature Comfort has all the pieces of a great song and almost is a great song. And Put Your Money on Me is pretty good. Not great, but it's kind of like the same LCD sound system worship as Reflector. The rest of it can go inside my garbage bin.
Alrighty. Jake?
I guess my final thoughts, are kind of similar to yours, Matty. I think that a lot of the songs here just like sonically kind of fall flat for me, but there's also like some really good songs. So it's probably my least favorite Arcade Fire album, but that's going to happen in a discography like that. So.
All right. I think that's.
I give it 1.5 Mike's Hards out of 4.
Ooh. I'm gonna give it. Let's see. Swing back to me on my head rating. Who's got a head rating?
My head rating is the picture I just posted. It's Regine's head, like fake cardboard head from when they toured Reflector. That's my head rating.
Mine is a head that is thoughtful, and waiting. I will wait weeks. I will wait months. I'll wait 5 years. But when people come around to this album and realize that it deserved more credit than they gave it, I will be here saying
That's a SpongeBob narrator voice. 5 years later.
Everything now is the new Pinkerton.
I was the
There's
day one
kick.
stan. I will defend everything. I will kill a man in defense of everything now if I have to.
See you at
I will
Pitchfork
be
next
here.
year.
Okay, hold on a second. I think I am genuinely this album's biggest fan on the planet. I think I am the person who likes this album the most.
You might
Out of
be.
every single human being on the planet.
Individual really likes it. Shouts out.
I will
User
duel them. I will
individual.
duel them to the death.
There can only be one.
I mean, here's the individual. Like AJ's given like really nice, like really layered critiques. Individual will just write like fan fiction about the album. So I mean, I'll take AJ. But anyways, okay, my head rating. I give it three NBA All-Star headbands out of 5.
And that's fine. That's good.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. But you know what? I mean, I'm not as invested in Radio. I was about to say Radiohead. I'm not as invested. I mean, that's also true with Radiohead a little bit, but I'm not as invested in Arcade Fire as like some of you guys are. So like, I don't. My personal stakes for this album are lower. Like, I don't really like if I didn't care for some of this stuff. It's not like I'm not gonna beat myself up for it. Like, oh, I gotta figure out the deeper meaning. I gotta figure. Like, no, it's like I don't need to dig deeper than I've already dug. You know, except unless someone wants to pay me to dig deep in this record, which, hey, my PayPal, my email is mattymo22097@gmail.com. So if you want to pay me to do a deep analysis into everything now,
this is bad. This is bad for the clout, brother.
Or you can support our upcoming Patreon, which is coming out in 2020 ? So. You gotta wait on that, brother. But I think that's it. I think that's all we got.
AJ, do you predict it'll still be your album of the year by December?
I think there's a very good chance of that happening. Honestly,
I'm
right.
interested. I think AJ's gonna like. I think AJ's rating is going to put this album in our top 10 next year. I'm going to be like a little up at the end of the year. I'm going to be like,
no, there's not a goddamn chance. There's not a goddamn
I was going to say, just get one more person on your side and both give it number one.
Just knowing how things worked last year, here's the thing. All it takes is one person to give it number one, and then like maybe like one or two other people to put like slightly like high. Like basically, if it's in their top 10, you could get this in the top 10, AJ. Like,
I don't think this will be in anyone else's top 10.
I mean,
no, probably not.
I think it will have one appearance in our voting, and that will be me at number 1. So I think it will get 10 points.
So I want to hear the words. You think that Everything Now is a better album than Soft Sounds from Another Planet by Japanese Breakfast?
I think I enjoy Everything Now more.
Oh God, man, that's disgusting. That's just disgusting.
It's
Soft
spicy.
Soft Sounds is a hot number 3 though.
Wait,
no, what's number 2?
What's number 2?
Rocket's number 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, AJ, hey, can we pedal back before we wrap up? Can we pedal back? So you said that this is your third favorite Arcade Fire album?
Unfortunately, I did say that. Yeah.
So I know like number 4, number 5 is Reflector. So like, what's the other one?
Neon Bible, The Suburbs.
So I'll just run it down for you. Funeral, Neon Bible, 10. Everything Now, 9. Reflector, 8.5. The Suburbs, 8. Those are my. That is my Arcade Fire take.
I think The Suburbs is my favorite Arcade Fire album. For my listening, that was the one that I enjoyed the most. But Neon Bible's up there. Neon Bible, when it's high, it's fucking like No Cars Go and the body is a cage, like baby. But yeah. That's about it for our podcast, episode 99 of the Indieheads podcast.
Jesus,
nice.
We're
Born to Run cast number 100.
I mean, do we actually want to do that for number 100? We have other plans for episode 100.
We have other plans.
We have other plans, but like, I feel like that one's been anticipated for a little bit.
Maybe we won't make it to episode 100. Maybe we'll be shut down by the FCC for the heat of the takes that I brought on this episode. They'll say this podcast cannot exist anymore for some of the irresponsible things that you said.
Oh God! Honestly, that wouldn't be the worst thing to happen.
I don't want another copyright strike. Not after last year. I still hate Drake.
No one's listening. Trust me. Yeah, remember when Drake released an album or a playlist this year? Remember More Life?
I do.
Unfortunately, yes.
What a pile of garbage that is.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was better than Views.
Good.
I thought it was better than Views.
It was a lot better than Views.
I thought it was better than Views too. I think a lot of albums are better than Views.
I think it wasn't just better. It was a lot better than Views.
Without looking at the track list, give me one song off of More Life that isn't Passion Fruit.
Guy Lanchester.
Portland. Yeah, Portland.
It was.
I mean, I had to think about it, obviously, because I haven't listened to it since it came out, but I enjoyed it when it came out. I mean, you got Portland, you got, is it Ice Cubes?
Free Smoke.
Free Smoke.
I'm not here to talk on
Free Smoke.
It's fine.
Free Smoke.
Free Smoke. Enjoy your album.
Okay, anyways, that'll about do
playlist
for the podcast this week.
Whatever the fuck.
We will be back. We'll be back.
At least, okay, yeah. Hold on.
God,
at least Arcade Fire did. At least they didn't call us a fucking playlist. That's my.
They could have. They really could have.
They really could have.
They were tempted. I bet that they were tempted.
And then
I bet they had the discussion. I bet how to talk and everything now.
They're like, we're gonna release our new sound experience. A cool thing they do for their live shows now is before the band comes on and a guy in a suit comes out and like one of those wrestling mics drops down from the stage and he's like, introducing the best band in the world, Arcade Fire.
What about White Reaper?
Oh shit, he did that.
Okay, anyways, we'll see you guys in episode 100 of the Indieheads podcast. It'll be a special one, I know that. Special. There's
gonna be some more news about coming in that episode too. I think.
Yes,
about the future of our podcast.
Yes, they will say it's going to be.
Stay tuned. More life on the way.
We're leaving you guys on a cliffhanger on the future of the Indieheads podcast. So we will see you guys next time, and yeah, bye.
Bye.